Millionaire Mindset X, where we bring people to the table for multiplied conversations. Here, we do not gatekeep, but we give you access to help you shift your mind from lack to abundance. I am your host, Fire Ash, and if you're ready to take your mindset to the next level, I just want to say, hey, friend, welcome to the table. So, on today, I have with me my guest, this wonderful, amazing, life changing, amazing testimony. I could just go on and on about my sister from another Mister. And so let me tell you just a little bit about Miss Danielle. So Danielle is the founder of Suit Up Sisterhood and a faith-based author who writes from the middle of the battle, not the other side of it. That's tea. That's good. After years of struggling with body image and emotional weight, she began rebuilding her relationship with fitness through faith. Unweighed was written while she was still fighting, trading shame for surrender and numbers for truth. She believes community matters because no woman is meant to fight alone. And just so you all know, she is an author, and I have the honor of being able to have one copy of one of her books, which we're gonna dive into on tonight. So first, I want to start off by asking you my famous question.
Yeah.
Danielle, who is Danielle beyond the bio?
Well, I first and foremost am a daughter of the king. That is
Yes.
the absolute best thing. But I am a wife of 29 years. Me and my husband were married 29 years.
Oh,
We
wow.
have two adult kids, two boys. They're 26 and 19.
Hmm.
And I spend a lot of my free time working on devotionals, my community, Suit Up Sisterhood, and just trying to I'm really trying to build that community. But for the 40-ish hours of the week that I have to go to work to pay my bills, I do payroll and HR, nothing super glamorous, but I work for a traffic and safety company. And I mean,
Hmm.
I love the people I work with. So that's that. So yeah, so that's me. But like I said, a lot of my free time is spent doing like working on diving into more devotionals. And I just, I wrote and I'm just authoring a lot of different things. I wrote a
Yeah.
kid's book because my
Oh, wow.
friends lost their little pet not too long
Mm.
ago, and so I wrote. It's called "Heaven Has a Doggy Door," and it's a little kid's book, and I wrote it for her two kiddos. And so I've just been diving into writing a lot
Yeah.
on my free time. So that's pretty much what I do. That's
I
me.
remember that you told me in our initial conversation about when God had given you the vision to write. And I may be paraphrasing just a little bit.
Yeah.
Weren't you on the plane and you wrote the book?
Yeah, that was the backpack. The Backpack of Grief was the very first book that I published,
Yeah.
devotional that I published, and that was not my intention at all
Yeah.
whatsoever. Um, but that was the one that got spit out first. So yeah, I was on a plane and I had it written. It was a 4-hour plane ride. I was going from California to Illinois, and within those 4 hours, by the time I landed, I had it ready to go. And then I
Wow.
just had to do some adjustments.
Right.
And within the week, I had it published through Amazon. So my husband was like,
That's
"Wait, what?
amazing.
You did what?"
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Within a week. First of all, you wrote the book within 4 hours on a plane, and then within a
Mhm.
week you had it published. Come on, God.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it was
Wow.
so God because I was like, I have no clue what I'm doing.
Uh huh.
I don't know. So, and it was my husband was like, "You're up until like 10, 11 o'clock at night because the editing for Amazon is kind of wonky.
Right.
You have to figure things out on that."
Yep.
But so I'm like, I have to do that. I don't know how I even had the
Yeah.
motivation to do it because typically I'd be like, "Forget it, it's too hard. I'm not doing
Yeah.
it." But I didn't. So, and I'm glad I didn't because I love what I'm doing. So.
So, how many books have you published? I know I have one sitting in front of me. I know I have
Yep.
another one in my other room, and then you have the grief one. So, how many
Yep.
books have you published? You have the kids one you just did.
Yeah, so I have the unweighed, and then I did a workbook, and I did an unweighed workbook. So there is a workbook, like a journaling workbook with that
Uh huh.
one. And then I did the Battleground of Fitness and Faith. That's the
Yeah.
other one that you have, the Backpack of Grief. I did the one that I just talked about, the children's book. I do have a gratitude journal that I did that I wrote, and right now that's what I have out there right now.
Hmm.
But I am working. I have
You have a
the
lot.
yeah, the one I'm working on right now is for special needs moms. So a
Oh,
devotion for special needs moms because I have a
yeah,
couple friends that have kiddos that have autism and different needs, and I had said something about it and they all were like, we want one of those. And so I was
yeah,
like, you got it. I'm doing it. So
yeah,
that's my new my work right now is on that. But yeah, I have a lot a lot of things in my head that I'm like, get that
yeah.
out. And I almost think that the enemy is like giving me so many ideas so I don't do anything.
Right. Oh my goodness. See, number one, the one thing I like about talking to certain people, especially you, is that we were so aligned in our initial conversation. And what you just said, I felt that for myself because recently God, I know that God had told me he gave me a book series to write. And I had several different books within that series. And so recently I had started focusing on just one because I'm like, let's just do the one. I don't want to focus on multiple at once because I know me. And
Yeah.
I feel like there was almost like this attack to try to get my focus on these other ones. And I feel like the Holy Spirit was like, no, focus on the one and then we can get to the next one, but complete this one. And this season of my life is all about finish what you start. It's all about
Yeah.
finishing, fulfilling, and completing. And so what you just said made me think about like what I've been experiencing. Like I have to fight to stay on the page of just the one.
Yep, that is so true. I
Yeah.
know.
So, okay, I really want to dive deep into our conversation about relearning how to love your body, especially because,
Mhm.
we share behind the scenes, a lot of transparency about, both of our experiences. So, I want to know, I want to inform the audience on what has been your journey with your body image, the way that you saw yourself, even diving in a little bit to what inspired you to write on Wade.
So what it kind of goes back to it all really started when my mom passed away,
Hmm.
and she passed away super suddenly. She was 76 and she was like had no ailments whatsoever, and she passed away from a heart issue.
Hmm.
And so that got me thinking that I was like, I do not want my children to deal with what I just went through. I want to
Yeah.
make sure I'm healthy. And I've always struggled with my weight, always.
Yeah.
It's always been up and down and just, nothing I could ever. And of course, everybody tells you, oh, you have such a pretty smile. Oh,
Yeah.
whatever. And you're
Right.
like, yeah, but I feel like garbage.
Right.
And you look in the mirror and you can't go back, all the things, right? Buying
Yeah, talk to
clothes and
me.
doing all the
Yes.
stuff. And I was like, okay, this is it. I am going to get myself healthy. I'm going to
Yeah.
really pay attention. I'm going to learn what I need to do. And working out was one of the things that I knew I needed to do. I just had a hard time doing it,
Yeah. Mm. Yep.
And so I was like, okay, I am really going to try and just focus on that. Well, I found this community called Lace with Grace, and it combines faith and fitness.
Yeah.
And that was what I needed. It was like, you're not working out to work out. You're working out because your body is a temple. Like
Yes, come on. Yes.
God gave you this gift, and what are you doing with it?
Yeah.
You're going to treat it, it's a temple, not a trash can, right?
Come
So
on.
I was like, okay, all right, this is it. And so I dove into that. I found some girls that have become my best of friends, and we have held each other accountable, and we started working out. Well, we would go on Zoom. It's called like a Zoom gym where you
Hmm.
just jump on Zoom together. You do whatever workout you do, but you're there together, kind of to hold each other accountable. And
Yeah.
while I was doing that, I was thinking, I just kept hearing, you need to write about this. You
Yeah.
need to write about this. You need to write. And I was like, I have, like, who am I to
Right.
write about faith and fitness or
Yeah.
learn, any, like, this is like, I am not the person to be talking about this.
Right.
I'm not
Yeah.
fit enough. I'm not, I didn't feel like I was Bible savvy enough. And I was like, Okay, well, over and over, I kept getting little nudges from different areas, and it was like finally the like third or fourth thing that hit me was Philip Anthony Mitchell.
Yeah.
I was watching him, and he was talking about doing things scared,
Yeah.
and I was scared, and I was like, okay. And he's like, just do me a favor. Like he literally almost like he was just looking at me through
He
the
was talking
screen.
directly to you.
He seriously was because he was like, just do me a favor, write the book. And I was like, what? Excuse me? So then I was like, that's it. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
doing this because how many more like notifications from the Lord do I need?
Right.
So I started writing The Battleground of Fitness and Faith, actually, was the first one. And then came the backpack grief. But then what happened was after the battleground came out, a lot of the ladies in the Lace with Grace community read that.
Yeah.
But as we were going through that, people kept talking about their weight and the number on
Right.
the scale
Yep.
and oh, but the number didn't go down or this or that. And I thought, oh my gosh, if these people would just stop talking about the number, like
Yeah.
why? And then it just came up unweighed. And I thought, we all need to live unweighed
Yes.
because who cares? Who cares what your number is?
Yeah.
I could be, standing next to someone the same size as me and they could weigh 130 pounds and I'm 170 pounds, but we
Yeah.
look the same,
Right.
so whatever. So
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. I'm writing unweighed. So that was where that came from. I just got really tired of women putting their worth in the number on the scale.
Yeah. Mm.
And,
That
also
was for
just,
me.
yeah. Because guess what? Every morning that I mean, I don't know about you, but typically I would weigh myself in the morning, right?
Literally,
Weigh
yeah.
myself first thing in the morning. That's what I'm
Yep.
going to do. And guess what? That stupid little number
It
inside
messed me
that
up
class, yes,
the
it
whole
does.
day. And
Yep,
look,
the
'cause
whole day.
you know what? What's funny is, so I had read your other book. I haven't read this one. I actually need to start this one. Let me say this to everybody that's listening. I need to start this one because 2 weeks ago, and I know you and I talked about this previously, but I need to read this for repetition. I think like 2 weeks ago, I had got on the scale, and I was like, wait a freaking minute. I've been working my butt off.
Yeah.
I've been eating right, and what is this? And so it kind of messed my mood up because I was like, well, what's
Uh-huh.
the point of me doing all of this? And
Right.
then and then recently I had a few people tell me like that they're starting to see a difference. And I was
Mhm.
like, you know what? I needed that because
Yep.
the scale hurt my feelings. So
I'm telling you, because you know what? The scale can measure gravity and all of
yeah,
that, but it doesn't measure your worth.
that's good.
So, it and that was the thing that was driving me crazy because I'd hear all these just like you. It messed up my day. Why?
Yeah.
You're beautiful, you're working hard, you're doing what you need to do, you're treating your temple right. Why does that number have
Come
such an
on.
effect on you?
Come on.
And here's
Ooh.
one of my favorite devotions from Unweighed. This is one of
Uh-huh.
my favorite ones. And it is, who told you that? Who told you you're not worthy? Who
Come
told you
on.
you're not perfect? Who told you you're not a masterpiece? Because
Yes.
God said all those things. So
You
I
better
don't know
talk.
who told you that,
Come
but
on.
it's you're telling yourself that because the king isn't saying that to us. So,
And I was so excited for this conversation because of what I experienced, pretty much my whole life. Like I've
yeah.
always had, I've either been heavier or smaller. It was kind of like this up and down, up and down. And the scale is literally how I measured my worth and my value. So I used to think like, oh, the boys won't like me because I'm such and such size. And that, unfortunately, since I was a kid, that's how I measured like how I viewed myself. And I think it was last year when I asked God, or maybe it was 2 years ago. I asked God, I said, Lord, help me to see myself through your lens and not my lens. And God started showing me. It was like the veil started coming off, and I started realizing how amazing I am. That number one, if he would die for me, then why wouldn't I live for me? You know?
Mhm,
And how he
mhm.
says in his word, how precious are the thoughts that I think towards you. And I started realizing that if God sees me as so precious and, the apple of his eye, why how it would be a disservice of me to not love on the very thing that he created. And
Right.
something else you said, Danielle, was about our temple. I had to also start realizing that this body is not mine. This is his temple. And
Yeah.
how well am I taking care of it? And if I'm being honest, I wasn't. I wasn't.
I
Now.
feel well, and the thing is let's talk about you're mentally not
Come
taking
on.
care of it.
Yes.
When when you're doing all these things and you're focusing on the outward appearance. And what is the
Right.
verse? It's in First Samuel. I have it. I know I wrote it down somewhere. First Samuel 2:16, where he's like, I don't see the things everybody else sees.
Yes.
I see the outward, or
Come
I don't
on.
see the
Yeah.
outward. I
I
see
see
what's
the.
inside.
Yep. Hmm.
And so I was like, it just really hit me because so many women were saying all these things. And the thing that also came out was that with Unweighed, people were talking about all the different weights, not just necessarily how much you physically weigh,
Hmm.
but all the other weights like your shame, your weight of certain relationships, or the weight of an identity. All of that was coming out for these ladies too. And it was like, but here's the thing, all of those things affect your body, right?
Right. Right.
So the other thing that I love to talk about, and this is kind of battleground, is kind of talks about this, but on Wade we hit it a little bit more, is that your body has carried you through so many battles.
Right. That's good.
Like, you have to stop and you have to think, maybe I need to be thankful for this body that God gave me
Yes.
to carry me through the hardest chapters of my life.
Yes. Come on.
And I have my super closest bestest friend ever. She lives in Tennessee, and her son was born with half a heart,
Uh huh.
and he is 7 now, doing phenomenal. But she gets frustrated sometimes with, like, and I think she looks great, whatever. She works out all the time. Okay. But she gets so frustrated, and I'm like, yeah, but look at what your body took you through. Like, I
Right.
can't say that my body took me through my little kid having 6 surgeries. You know, I mean,
That's
yes,
good.
I've had my battles. I have them too, but you have to be like, thank you, Lord, for giving me
Right.
this body that can carry me through all of these stressors of my life, and I'm still able to get up and serve you the next day.
I didn't consider that.
I know, like, sometimes I said that to someone else and they were like, I never thought about it
I
like that.
never thought about that. That's really good.
Yeah. So, and with the whole process of this, I feel like I've been all different weights. I've
Uh
been
huh.
very thin, just like you, been very heavy, and right now I'm in the middle. But what I have come to learn, and especially through this process of writing all this stuff and going, dealing with a lot of different women that have the mindset of Christ first, and then, we're going to bring all of the other things into it, nutrition, workout, all that. You can transform your body. That you can do for sure. But you can still look in the mirror and hate what you see.
Oh my gosh. Moments like this, I'll tell my best friend, I'll be like, shut up, but keep on talking. Be-
Yeah. No, I'm just saying because, well, first of all, let's talk about body dysmorphia, right?
Come on.
So there's that. Just like you, how your friends were telling you, I can really see a difference. You were probably like, yeah, no, I don't see anything. Because that's how I would be.
Get out my business, Danielle.
I'm just saying. I know it. I lived it. I lived it. And but that this is where I love having these conversations because
Yeah.
this is where it comes to you need to renew your mind,
Come
right?
on. Yeah.
You need to start instead of having the focus be on I need to be smaller, I need to weigh a certain number, you need to have the focus be on God, I need you to be who you need me to be. And then everything else will come along with it.
I like that.
So if that means that God's gonna have me, I don't know, I don't even know how much I weigh, honestly. I haven't even weighed myself. So, let's say 150 pounds, whatever, 107 pounds. If that's where I'm gonna be and I'm gonna be able to serve him the best, so be it. You know what,
Yeah.
God, then that's what you need me to be. And
Yeah.
that's fine with me, you know? But I love when people get the revelations of, oh, I never thought about that.
Literally.
Well, you know what? You need to because it drives me crazy. And the thing is I am right there in the boat with everybody. And that's
Hmm.
why I wrote what I did because I've lived it. It's not like I'm some, like nutrition workout guru who I'm telling everybody, oh, well, this is what you need. No, I have lived this life and this is what I have learned.
Yeah.
So it's like when I'm saying these things, it's not to say, oh, well, this is because of this. It's because I've done it, I've lived
Right.
it, I know it, and I know it to be true. So, the thing is your body your body is part of your story no matter
Right.
what.
Right.
For sure, it's lived all your life with you, but it is not the author of your identity.
To pause. Say that again. Zzz.
Your body is a part of your story. Okay, it's lived your whole life with you, but it is not the author of your identity. Because where's your identity? Who's your identity with?
Come on.
Right?
That's
And I
good.
feel like we get that so intertwined, especially
Yeah.
as women, because it's like you're supposed to look a certain way, you're supposed
Yep.
to weigh a certain number, you're supposed to wear a certain size clothes. You know, and I've told this to multiple people. Have you ever asked someone else, "Hey, what do you think about this person?"
Mm.
And 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you, oh, she's so funny. Oh, I love her smile. Oh, she has such a good sense of humor. Oh, she is so kind. Oh, they're going to give you a laundry list of all the things that are your positives. And what do we do the second we look in the mirror?
We go straight to that negative.
That's right. You don't see any of those positives.
You know what? You know what? That comment hit his home because recently I was at I do basketball conditioning with my friends, mainly because I just want to be in shape and it's fun. So recently, last Saturday, we were all working out. Now I'm looking at the fact that I'm literally the heaviest person on this court. And they had me leading the workouts. And I'm looking at my friends and I'm like, they're smaller, they're slimmer. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm thinking like, why am I leading these workouts? Because I should be in the back, right? And at the end of the workout, one of my friends I appreciate started kind of nudged me into challenging myself. And so at the end of the practices, I've started challenging myself to like run some suicides. So I run the suicides and I finish and I tell my friend, somehow I tell my friend um, that I'm thinking to myself like they were giving me so many compliments, like they were making me feel
Yeah.
good about myself. They were talking about like Ashley's a great person and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, but my mind was thinking about how I'm the heaviest person out here and blah blah blah. And my friend had said, so we none of us were thinking about that, right? That wasn't even a thought that was in our minds, and I was like, you know what? I didn't think about that because that was the only thing that I was thinking about. And so you mentioning that really takes me back to that moment, realizing that we can miss number one, going back to what you said, our value does not come from a number, and and understanding that, understanding how can I best serve God with the body that I have, that is honestly giving me freedom. That's why I'm gonna read this one. Wade. But
Yeah.
listening to what you said and having reliving that moment, I'm realizing like the areas where God is still helping me. He's still healing me. And as I'm being transparent, He's still working on me because I literally had that moment. And something else you said about body dysmorphia. Um, I
Mhm.
so I was looking at some old pictures of myself, right? And
Yeah.
I looked at them and I was like, oh my goodness, I look so good. And at the time when I was living in that size or that body, I thought I was just like so out of control. So again, now I'm in a different space. I'm in a different pant size. And I was looking at myself and I was like, ugh, I hate this image. And I even have been asking God, like, Lord, help me to love where I'm at. Like,
Yeah.
even though I am working out, obviously I want to tone up some more, but help me to learn to love where I am and not
Mhm.
be so fixated or begin to idolize. Because I think that's something I did in the past that I wasn't aware of. I think I started
Mhm.
idolizing a shape that if I could only, oh my goodness, I'm getting freedom on today. Let me tell you,
Yep.
Danielle, I genuinely thought if I could only get to this size, I used to think no man would love me until I got to this size. Like I would never be able to get married until I get to this size. And for most of my life, like that was the mindset that I carried, that in order for me to be loved, I have to be this thing. And now God is like truly working on my mind and my heart to where I'm like, no, I'm an awesome person. Like
Yep.
I'm
Uh-huh.
amazing.
It's exactly. That's 100% true. And and that's where you have to, like, your mind has to get to that point, because I, I've said this for a really long time, and this was before, really, I mean, this was long, 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 long time ago. Um, you know, your physical body and your appearance, all of that can be taken away from you in this, like, snap of a finger, right? That can be gone tomorrow. But who you are on the inside, who God created you to be, that's going to be forever until you
Right.
go home to be with Him, right? Why don't you cultivate that? Why aren't we making that grow and be the best that it can be? And then when, and obviously, I'm not saying don't work out, don't worry
Right,
about
right, right.
nutrition,
Yeah.
not any of that. But I feel like when we're doing those things, because we are being good stewards of what He's given us,
Hmm.
we are going to want to eat healthy. We are
Right.
going to want to work out.
Yep.
All of those things where sometimes working out is horrible. My trainer, because I have like a trainer, I Lace Grace, she's Kelsey is my trainer, okay, and she will be doing things, and I'm like, I hate you right now, like I hate you. It's like, do not make me do another push up because I hate those. But the thing is, and she's like, I love you too much to just keep you comfortable. I'm
Yes.
going to
Thank
push
you.
you
Woo.
to make you do things that you don't want. And I'm like,
Yes.
and I love you for that. I might hate you right now, but I really do
Yep.
love you.
Oh my goodness. That's so funny that you say that because last week I went to all of my friends are basically coaches. Let me throw that out there right now. Half my close friend group are coaches in
Yep.
different sports. So the funny thing is, I told my mom recently, I said, I'm basically getting free training from all my friends because they all
Hey,
are coaches. One is a basketball coach, one is a track coach. Actually, two of them are track coaches. One of them is a kickboxing coach. I just got all
there.
these coaches around me. And so my homegirl, I went to her track practice the other day and we had started working out. This is so funny to me. We had started working out and we had started doing the warm up, and we kept going. And halfway through the workout, I was ready to go, and she was like, "Okay, well, that was the warm up. Now we can get ready for the workout." And I was like, I said, "That's a warm up." I said, "What else do we have to do?" Right. But again, my mission is start what you finish what you start. So I had told her, I said, it might be hard for me. I said, my body, we carrying some stuff right now. I said, but I'm going to finish whatever you have me do. I'm going to finish. And I also told her, like, I might take a few breaks, but just know I'm committed to the finish. And so She's so sweet. She was like guiding me through it, and so the we did some stretches that really stretched me out, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoo, I don't know how I'm gonna get past this." Then we get to the actual workout. Now, everything up until this point, I'm not realizing that she was literally guiding me into what we were gonna do for the workout. She was preparing me by having me do certain drills, things I've never done in my life before. When we get to the workout, she actually shows me I'm now about to start applying everything that we did from the warm up. And if I
Mm.
can be honest, I actually enjoyed the workout. I actually enjoyed it. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. We
Yeah.
was just running, but it was like practicing it in a way that was actually having, actual right instructions. I was like, yo, this is kind of fun. And I remember throughout the process, she kept asking me, like, Ashley, how you doing? How you doing? And at first I kept saying, I'm tired. I'm tired. The answer didn't change, sis. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. This is hard. But after it was over, I told her, you know what? I'm coming back, because
Yeah.
it for me, working out is not just working out for my body. It's for me, it's a spiritual thing. I work out spiritually. I'm working out because I want to live the word. When it says to fight the good fight of faith, when it also says to run
Mhm.
the race, I'm trying to run the race. I want to be the person at the end of my life, whatever day God chooses to call me home. I want to be
Mhm.
the person that actually lived out my purpose and I endured. And so working out for me is like, no, let me train my body to submit, because I want to train my mind to submit. I want to train my flesh to submit. And so, yeah, I don't know how I got on that tangent, but
Yeah. No, it's yes, 100% true because here's, and I think this is for people that are kind of like are in a ministry type thing,
uh-huh.
that, and it should be for everybody, and I'm not like just limiting it to people that are, because everybody, let's be honest, everybody can be a minister of some sort.
Right.
So I just feel like we need to look at it like God needs us to be healthy and our
Yeah,
bodies to be healthy so we can do what he needs us to do to present his word to everybody.
that part.
Because let's be real, you your message only comes from your mess, right?
Right. Right.
So, I
Right.
mean, you go through a mess and you're thinking, "Oh, Lord," but then you come out and you're like, "Wow, do I have a story?"
Yes.
So, and if that means that I weighed 210 pounds at one point
Uh-huh.
and then I lost a ton of weight and then I decided I need to really figure out my health, and I
Yeah.
write a couple devotionals and I'm encouraging people. And I even when I wrote Unweighed, I was so unsure about it, and my group of friends were like, just do it, like it's going to be great, don't. And I
Yeah.
was like, you guys, what if it's horrible and I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm talking about? And then the more God was working on me, it was like he was saying, and if one person, if your words hit one person
Yes.
to help them with anything, it
Yes.
was worth it.
That
And I
part.
was like, that's the mindset I needed to have. I needed to change it to, you know what? You're right. It's not by me. It definitely
Exactly.
is not by me. It was
Yep.
by God's hand because like I told you before, unweighed in my mind was about the scale.
Yeah.
Unweighed in a lot of other people's minds was about, I don't know, 5 or 10 different things. And I'm
Yeah.
like, who can do that? It wasn't
Yeah.
me, but
Right.
God can.
Yeah.
So that
And
no, go
even
ahead.
on what you said about in your bio, on the back of your book, something that speaks to me is you said, Wade was written while she was still fighting. I
Hmm.
appreciate that because recently when I when I decided, like, okay, we're gonna get back into this and we're gonna really lock in, God had
Hmm.
told me to start the next book. That's actually where the series came from. And he had told me to start the next book. And so I knew exactly what the focus of the book was. And I think it's actually becoming a devotional. But I knew the focus of the book. I knew he told me, while you're on this journey, right? It's literally what you said.
Do
While
it.
I'm on
Yeah.
this journey, write it. And then he also told me, while I'm on this journey, document it. Show the content. Show people where
Hmm.
you are. Don't. One thing that I would say sometimes bothers me is when a person shows us the kind of, I don't want to say the ending, but like where they are, but they didn't show us the journey in between. Like, show
Mm-hmm.
me that it was hard. Show me that you had to really fight to show up. Show me that your legs was hurting. You know,
Yeah,
show
for
me, show me
sure.
the process. Don't show me just the promise. I don't want to see, oh, the children of Israel, they just got to the promised land. No, it was a process in between
Toil.
them getting there. And so show me that. And I believe that God told me, as far as the journey I'm on, I believe he told me that they're going to watch my glory. That's why you're sharing it with them. They're going to watch my power. They're going to watch what happens when you
Mhm.
trust in me. And it's something so dear to me about finishing right now. I had the opportunity to teach Bible study the last 2 weeks, and one thing that God has shown me with what I'm doing is I'm finishing hard things. I made my series called Doing Hard Things, and I'm
Yeah.
finishing it because God told me that He didn't say the road was going to be easy. The narrow road isn't easy. That's why it's narrow.
Mhm.
The broad road is. And He told me, God told me that the more that I continue to train, the more that I continue to train myself to finish, I'm literally setting the stage for my character. I'm setting the stage for,
Yeah.
oh God, I'm not just gonna follow you when I want to. I won't just obey you when I want to. No, I'm gonna follow through in obedience. And I think about Jesus and how Jesus, He came down here with a mission. He said, I came to do the will of my Father. He came to fulfill the law of the prophets. He came to finish. And that inspired me. And I'm like, well, Lord, I don't want to be on this earth. I don't want to leave this earth full of everything you gave me. I want to finish. If you gave me a book, let me finish. And so anyway, I'm sharing my journey because I want to show people what it's like to be a part of the process as I work towards completion. I'm completing different things, but I want you to be a
Mhm.
part of that journey with me.
Yeah, for
That was a
sure.
mouthful. That was a mouthful.
Yeah. But it's so important. And I feel like that is something too that a lot of times, like you said, you see the end product and you're like, oh, well, easy for you to say. You look like that. Okay.
Right,
But
right.
when you see, I have a post on, like, I posted a thing when I was doing, I think I was promoting Unweighed, and it was talking about my journey. And I showed a picture of myself way back from the very
Yeah,
beginning. And I just looked miserable.
yeah.
I looked miserable. And let me tell you, was it something I really wanted out there on social media?
Probably
Probably
not.
not.
Yeah,
But I was like, you know what? But the thing is I did look miserable. But after 60 days or whatever, my face, my body might not have looked that much different,
right. Yeah,
but the joy that was exuding out of my face, you could
yeah,
tell was
yeah.
different. And I was like, and that's what I want people to look for. I don't care what your body looks like. I want to see what your soul looks like, right? I
That's
want to
good.
see the joy come out. I want to see to know the joy of Christ,
Yeah,
because honestly, that's what we're all striving for. That's what
right.
my kids probably get so mad at me because I'm like, I can't wait to get to heaven. Like, I can't wait to get to heaven. And they're
That's
like,
funny.
okay, stop saying that. I'm like, I'm serious though. Like, that is what I'm so excited for. And
Yes.
I say it all the time. My friend is like, she sends me this song from Phil Wickham,
Hmm.
Homesick for Heaven. And she's like, this reminded me of you. And I'm like, yep, that's me for sure. Uh, but when going back to you talking about finishing strong and finishing hard and finishing, finishing hard things. What and while you were talking, I was like, and what did Jesus say on the cross? What were his
It is
last words?
finished. Come
That was
on.
what that was what I thought of when you were talking about that. I'm like, and what did Jesus say? It is finished. But
Yes.
also, I believe that it's so easy for us to not finish things.
Hmm.
And I always go back to the enemy because I have this huge, I don't know why, but I love spiritual warfare. Like,
Yeah.
I love to think that there is another realm going on and people are fighting our battles for us and stuff like that. And I always go back to the enemy and I think, why does the enemy not want you to finish? Like,
Yeah.
why is
Right.
this something he's trying to keep me from doing?
Right.
What kind of glory is it going to give the Lord, or
Right.
what blessings are going to
That's
come
good.
my way
That's good.
because I finish this?
That's so good.
Because you know, it's I mean, we are living in a world of procrastination.
Right.
And let me tell you, you can sit and scroll on social media for 20 minutes for what? And I do it all the time. And I'm like, I should have just been 20 minutes wasted that I could have spent on something productive,
Right.
you know? Well, why is that? Well, yeah, the enemy's like, great, you're not getting the word out. So,
Yep.
you're not finishing that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I just think that I love that. And I'm going to become a finisher too. I think we need to make a hashtag finisher.
Okay, so my current if I had to put it into a tag, my current things that I've been saying is faithful to finish, having the
Yes.
faith to finish, because I think it's a difference between having the faith to finish and
Mhm.
faithful to finish. I believe that
Right.
you can start off, by having faith, but are you faithful to the process and seeing the completion of whatever it is? Like, for
Right.
instance, how you did your books. You were faithful to the finish and completion of that project, and now you can move to the next thing. And one of my favorite scriptures or passages that I like to talk about that is keeping me accountable is the one with the servants and the talents. I say that a lot, and I say that one because I keep thinking about literally the things that God has given us. To me, I believe that God, He wants to see a return on His investment. He invested gifts in me. Why wouldn't I show Him
Yes.
the return on what He gave me, right? And so I
Mm-hmm.
think about the stewards or the servants, and I ask myself very often, Ashley, are you going to be the servant who, when God gave a gift to, or talent, or money, or whatever the case may be, when He gave it to you, are you going to bury it out of fear, or are you going to glorify Him and multiply it?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about multiplying it is, I love how in the Bible it says, if you can be faithful over a few things, He'll make you ruler over many. I love
Yeah.
that because I think about how if I can be faithful over the gift, let's say I'm faithful over a gift of speaking, I'm just faithful over it. I continue to lend it to Him and use it and share it. I believe
Mm-hmm.
that God will continue to give you more the more you steward well what He's giving you. I
Mm-hmm.
have a perfect example. So at my church, when I first started going there, now, I've been a speaker for a long time, but when I started going to my church initially, they didn't know my background.
Right.
So my pastor, he started me off by having me read scriptures for before service. He would just ask me to read a scripture, and I would read that scripture. And let me tell you something. I will read that scripture. I preach in the reading of the scripture. I read a few lines. Did you hear me? This is what this means. I read a few more lines. I preach in those scriptures. They was like 5 minutes or less. I was preaching them though. And I said, you know what? I might not be actually being able to preach, but I'm sure enough gonna use what I got. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
make this 5 second scripture real good. And he kept having to do it. And one day he said, Ashley, I want to have you preach. And I preached, and then again he started having me do that. He started having me do that. And another thing that I decided to do, I was like, you know what? I won't be preaching every Sunday. I won't have that opportunity. So why not use the gifts by making content on social media where I'm
Mm-hmm.
actively practicing? Even my most recent content that I've shared online, honestly, I'm out here just practicing. God gives me some ideas, and instead of keeping them to myself, I'm like, we just gonna throw these out here. See what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
And I believe the more that I've been exercising what He gives me, He keeps giving me more creativity, and I'm like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
this is great.
Yep. Yep. And and the thing is I started doing these things called battle briefs,
Uh
right?
huh.
And um I kind of have stopped because I got to a point where I was doing them every day and it's
Uh huh.
just a whole lot of work. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Um but I would put these out there, and one of the days I talked about the your body has gone through battles, and
Mm-hmm.
then one of the days I just kept hearing "Don't quit," and so I
Uh-huh.
talked about not quitting and different things throughout, right? And it would have been so easy for me to just be like, "Okay, whatever," but I
Yeah.
didn't, and I would say probably 80% of the time, I would have someone reach back out to me and say, you have no idea how much I needed to hear that today.
Come on. Yeah.
So when you're using those gifts
That's
that
good.
God's giving you
Yeah.
and He's multiplying them,
Yep.
you never know who you're reaching.
Exactly.
And you may never know. I mean, let's be
Right.
honest. You just
Right.
may never know.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm fine
Yeah.
with that. I'm okay because I'm like, listen, Lord, if you need to get the message to someone that I have no idea and it's not meant for me to know,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. And if it's going to plant the seed, that's the other thing. I'm
I was about
huge.
to say that. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm huge on that. I tell that to my kids all the time. Listen, we don't have to see how things
Yes. Thank you.
grow. We are just planting the seed. And
Yes.
that's all. And I know it's so hard for all of us because you want to see what happens, right?
Right.
You
Yeah.
want to see that flower bloom. But
Yeah.
my job is to plant a seed. And
Come
if
on.
it's God's job to water it.
Come on.
So, you know,
That
that
you saying that made me think of again another favorite scripture where Paul was saying when he was talking about him and Apollos, and he said one plants and one waters but God gives the increase. And I remember when I was earlier in my faith, I had this thing where I wanted to like see the transformation in people's lives. I wanted to be a part of the entire journey, like let me see them transform, God.
mhm,
And God
mhm,
had to literally humble me and say, I'm the one that does the increase. Your job is
mhm,
literally to to plant seeds and also to water seeds, but I ultimately choose
right,
how I want to increase that. And for me, once I had that in my mind, it actually gave me a sense of freedom of knowing I can trust you with them.
mhm,
Whether I like how you said whether I see it or not. Like whether I see the transformation or not, I can trust you with them. And I
mhm,
know that if you're in control of the increase, that it's gonna happen in your timing and your will. It's also
mhm,
it makes me think about how Abraham he was initially given, you know, the instruction to go from his father's country, but he didn't see the generation of Joshua that actually walked into the promise, but he
right,
initiated. And just thinking further, I want you to know, like, you're helping me process this out loud. So just thinking further on that, I think about how with Abraham, he was he was given this thing that was bigger than himself. It literally impacted the nation and generations. And something I've been
mhm,
thinking to myself is, Ashley, what if your yes is impacting the generations that's coming after you? And I just need you to say yes to me. I just need you to write the book. I just That's why completion is so important to me, because if Jesus wouldn't have
mhm,
completed that thing, all
yep,
of us would have been a wreck. But he
yeah,
finished, and because of his finish, we were all saved and reconciled back to God.
yep, yep. And and the thing too is I so I'm reading through the Bible. This is my second year of reading through the
Uh-huh.
Bible. And I am this year doing where I am doing my own thing called the Jesus Jaunt, where I'm actually writing a snippet of like what I've read. So
Mm-hmm.
then it's like who we met, why it's important, all that. And the thing that I have seen throughout is that you know, God's strength is
Uh-huh.
there through all of those things, what you were just talking about.
Yeah.
And He, the blessings He will bestow on you and the generations to come.
Uh-huh.
I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to be one of those ones that's not promoting what he wants or
Yes.
what
Agreed.
I mean, I'm scared. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love God, but I mean, I'm scared. He can be I don't want him to do that to any of my
Right.
family.
Yeah. No, seriously.
You know what I mean? So, it's just about and I think that when you said the freedom, when you were talking about that and you were
Uh-huh.
saying, oh, it kind of gave me a freedom, I was just thinking, it kind of is a relief to me that I don't have to see how everybody transforms. I
Right.
don't have to make sure
That's
that
good.
they are following or that they're doing this right or that
Yeah.
this is the road you're taking or why aren't you doing this. I'm so glad that he has taken that off of my
Yeah.
shoulders and I don't have that weight to
To
carry
manage,
because
yeah. Yeah.
I
That
mean
yeah.
because it's kind of like, hey, this is what I'm telling you. Either you
Yeah.
like it, you don't, whatever.
Right.
And guess what? My job's done. Now, if
Yes.
you
Oh
want to
my God.
come to me and ask me questions, then hey, I'm here for it. I will
Right.
talk to you till I'm blue in the face. But if you're like, whatever, okay, I did my job. I'm
Right.
not going to pound you on the head with the
That
Bible. I'm
part.
just,
Yes.
So, um, yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
definitely felt that because just thinking about it in ministry, I was every time I have a podcast episode, I know it's just God alone because every episode aligns with exactly where I am in that week. I kid you not, every episode that I've had
of
from the
course.
start of this year until now, the whatever lesson I'm learning in that week is the very thing I talk about on the podcast. And it's not even intentional because you know why? Because every single person that I invited on this podcast, y'all choose the topics. I don't, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, God, it's just it's so amazing. I don't want to say crazy. So amazing how this topic is so in sync with what I've been
Yeah.
experiencing. Um, what's so funny is I got sidetracked thinking about how amazing that is. I forgot what I was gonna say. So
I almost did that just a second ago.
God is good. I forgot because I got so excited at the fact that this podcast is so perfectly timed. Dang, you said
Oh my
something and I forgot that fast. I was like, oh,
Oh,
whoop.
it's so funny. I know. Yeah. I know. This is I don't know. God is just so good with, and when you were talking about having how he bestowed, like he just gives you, when you use one gift, he's going to give you
Yes.
more and he gives you more
Yeah.
and more. When you were talking about that, totally triggered this thing that my husband says to me, because he said when I showed him the book, my first book, right? He
Uh
goes,
huh.
"Oh, we'll just add author to the list of things that you do," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then he's like, because I went to culinary school, so he's like, "Your
Oh,
chef."
wow.
He's
Yeah.
like, you were a teacher. I did not elementary. I did preschool for 20 years. He goes, you're a teacher. Now you're an author. And
Yeah.
then I started a podcast. Oh, podcaster. Oh, okay. We're just going to add, like, he keeps
See,
going, like,
yep.
he's like, well, let's just add that to the list. And I'm
Yep.
like, okay.
And you
So
know what's
I'm like,
funny?
I need to be like, yeah, you know what? God did add it to my list. Thank
He
you.
did. And that's actually something my dad said because my dad he had told me like when he named me Ashley he had this vision that I would do a lot of stuff but he was like Ashley you continue to surpass my vision because you're doing more things than I thought and just like you said like number one God definitely told me use that gift of speaking be a podcaster and number
Yeah.
two I just like you I have been able to write books I can design websites I mean I can't say what
Yeah.
can I not do because
Yeah.
I can't sing, right? He keeps you
Me
humble.
either.
He keeps you humble.
Um,
He give you gifts, but he won't give you the ones you want because I
yeah.
wanted to sing.
But hold on. But
You're
wait, I've
right.
thought about this before because maybe he didn't give you that gift because he knew what you would
I
be if you
wouldn't
had it.
I wouldn't be humble. Let me tell you. I struggle with being humble and singing and I can't even sing. So I know if he would have let me have the voice of a psalmist or an angel, I'd be out here singing in the streets. Not for Jesus. So no, I
Yeah,
agree with you though. I agree because
exactly. I know.
because
That's what I'm
I
saying.
was like, had he given me certain things, would I have been serving the Lord? No, I'd been making me some R&B tapes,
Yeah.
singing these songs for
Exactly.
myself.
Right. I know. I'm telling you.
So he
It's so
definitely he knew
funny.
what he was doing when he gave us the gifts that he did,
For
and
sure.
I think it's just a blessing that we can say like that God will increase the gifts, especially according to your obedience. If you continue
Hmm.
to obey, you know what? I got it. It makes me think about territory. If he can trust you with managing we're just gonna say territory for now. It all kind of goes
Yeah.
into stewardship. But if he can trust you in managing this amount of territory, then imagine what happens when you've managed it so well that he's like, you know what? I want to give you more. I want to give you more. And that's what I see. I see that throughout the course of my life, God has trusted me with things and he's trusted me with people. He's trusted me with souls. He knows that he
Mm-hmm.
can trust me, and because of that, I believe he continues to bring people, into my life trusting that I'll keep giving them back to you. These are your people, God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yep.
want to I don't want to manage all of them. You got it.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't want to either.
Mm-mm. So yeah, going back to that freedom thing, I'm glad that we have the freedom of him being God and we don't have to be. All I have to be is a daughter that leads people to my father, and that's it. I don't have to be my father, and that's something that God also had to break off of me in my mindset because truth be told, I had a little baby savior complex. It might have not been little or baby, but I was thinking that when people were hurting and going through, I was like, well, I'll save you. Whole time I'm stressed out because I'm trying to save people and I was never called to save them. I'm supposed to point
Yes.
them to the savior.
Oh my gosh. Yes. That's so good. Yeah. Because that is so true. But I feel like though a lot of women are like that.
Right.
Don't you?
Yep.
They think they're supposed to be the ones that are going to make
Exactly.
everything better and
Yep.
I'm going to fix it. But then that's when they lose themselves and they don't worry
Exactly.
about they don't take care of themselves.
And I was women and women was me. That was me. And now I'm at the point
Yeah.
where I am not playing Captain Save a beep. I'm not playing. I'm not trying to save everybody. I'm currently trying to save myself. Just and I can't even do that. That's why I'm letting them save me. Cause
That's right.
yeah.
I mean, I hear ya. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
So I have one question that I love to ask at the end of every episode. Now,
Okay.
before I ask that question, I want to know if anybody is interested in connecting with you or purchasing your book, how can they find you on these internet streets?
So you can go to all of my books are on Amazon. So you can go to Amazon and Google and like search my name or the names of the book. Unweighed or my name's Danielle Carragher. Yeah. Or you can go to suitupsisterhood.com. I do have a website. And you can go on there. I think I have the link for, I don't think I have all of them on there, but I know Unweighed and the Battleground are definitely on there. So you could go there, and that'll take you to the Amazon site as well. And I also do have a circle group off of social media. So I have Suit Up Sisterhood on Facebook, but I also have Suit Up Sisterhood off of social media, which is I call it the battleground because we're warrior women and we are, I feel like that's like my community group.
Yeah.
Um, and so you can join the battleground, and I'm going to be working on doing an unweighed Bible study, and it will
Mm.
be through the circle group. So,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, so that's where you can find me. So, and then
Def-
obviously Instagram, Facebook. If you want to message me, go for it. So, yeah, I think my Instagram is at Danielle Carragher 16690. I don't know, but I do have at Suit Up Sister 2025 as well. So, um, yeah.
and the information will also be in the description on the podcast. Once you go back and listen to the replay, we'll also make sure we add that. So,
Yep. Oh, and I have
does
Suit Up Sisterhood podcast too. So
oh
you have
yeah,
that too.
definitely need to tap in with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can hold me accountable. I got 30 days. I am going to use this as my devotional for the next 30 days.
I'm gonna be checking up on you.
You can. I'm
Okay.
giving you permission because, yeah,
I will.
I was trying to figure out what my next read was going to be anyway, and yeah, I'm gonna land there. So my famous question that I like to ask everybody at the end of the episode is: considering that this show is all about mindset, I want you to think about where we are right now and where you
Mhm.
would want us to be. What's the mindset shift that happens in between?
From where we are now and where I want us to be.
Yep, mentally. Yep.
I really want us to be in a place where our identity and our mentality is looking at what God wants, not at what the world wants.
That's good.
I want us to be free. I wrote down, it's funny that you were talking about freedom at the end here because
Mm-hmm.
I actually wrote on my little notes right here, it says
Oh.
really about freedom.
Mm.
So really the mentality I really want is freedom from that number, freedom from
Yeah.
that weight because I feel like you can do so much when you're unweighed.
Yes.
So
That was real smooth.
I wanted to see what
I
you would
like
say to that.
I like how you did that. That was real smooth. As the people say, that was smooth. Okay, Daniel, I see you out here. Once again, y'all, unweighed. If you missed it the first time, run it back. I mean, if any of my friends that are watching, if y'all want to get this, if this message has spoken to you as it did to me, feel free, because then we could possibly do a little baby book club, have a little session, reading it together. Again, it's on Amazon. And like I said, I'm going to commit to reading it because I just know I needed it. And when I read your other book, instantly from the first page, I remember when I read the first page, I was like, "Oh, this is for me." Yeah, and I feel like it's perfect timing for me to start this now because of where I am and just with me, training that temple, getting that temple together.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
So we had a few people in the chat on Facebook. A lot of people were pretty much just saying. One person said, "So glad to be here." Another person said, "Doing hard things." We had a lot of hearts coming in, a lot of likes coming in, and so I just want to say to all those who were able to, tune in on tonight. I want to say thank you for hanging with your girl every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I also want to say, if you know anybody that you think would make a great guest on this episode, being able to share wisdom, revelation, and knowledge on, what God has given them and what their purpose is and how they are using that purpose in the world. And then I would love for you to invite them on. We have a website, millionairemindsetx.com. So feel free to share this episode with anybody who you believe it will bless, because my goal here is not to just keep the word within ourselves, but to multiply it that others may be blessed as well. So, guys, with that, I am logging off for the night. I love you all, and we will talk to you next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. God bless.